How do we do better for our kids? So thank you to all of our caregivers for what you do. And it's amazing to be able to provide the most comprehensive care services because we have exceptional partners with Mary Free Bed and Pine Rest. And so doing this is the cherry on top, where we can pull all of it together to make sure that we provide the most exceptional, coordinated, and compassionate care to our community here. For that, I'm extremely grateful. As Helen once said of the wise words of her mother, "When a job is once begun, never leave it till it's done. Be the labor great or small, do it well, or not at all." Well, we are continuing along this vision and this legacy to ensure that we never stop, that we are always making sure that we turn the impossible into the possible, and to fulfill the dreams imagined many years ago by Rich and Helen. So to the DeVos family members, thank you so much for all that you have done for Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, as well as Mary Free Bed and Pine Rest. We are so thankful and humbled by your impactful gift. You are making a transformative impact on the lives of children for generations to come, and we will always strive to make sure that we live and embrace the vision that your parents and your grandparents have. We hope that you feel and that you see that we take this ambitious vision seriously, and that we continue to drive it every single day to provide exceptional care for the kids in our community. So with that, it's now my honor to introduce Doug DeVos, who will share more about the DeVos Family Foundation and their continued investment in kids in our community. Thank you, Doug.
Well, it's truly an honor to have a chance to be here and represent our family. I have my sister Sherry, who's here with us, my niece Sydney, and my other niece Andrea. So they are all here. I asked them if they wanted to speak, and they said, I guess that's up to you. So, okay. But that doesn't diminish the commitment and the heart and the work that we do together as a family, and the engagement that we have together to stay close to this organization and to really live out a lot of the vision that Tina was talking about. And it is so fun to have a chance to be here with Pine Rest and with Mary Free Bed, and to have a chance together to connect so many great institutions. That is really fun. But as Tina talked about earlier, you know, my mom and dad had a great vision, and we miss them. It's been 7 years almost since Mom passed, 6 for Dad, and they leave a hole. But we're not the only family that's experienced that. Every family, when you lose someone, it leaves a hole, and you miss them terribly. But what you remember about them is their dreams, their passions, and the things that were important to them, and it's an honor to be able to continue on in some of those traditions. And one of them certainly was here at the Children's Hospital. And Tina referenced years ago, Mom and Dad had a chance to sit down and kind of write out a few things that were important to them and their vision about the Children's Hospital. And it's fun, as I look back on that document, I can kind of see how this happens, because it was written down, and the first thing I know is that Dad didn't write it because it was typed as well, and I know Mom did that. And so the cool thing about it, beyond the words, is you can see the two of them talking, dreaming together, thinking about what could happen here and the importance that it had for them in their lives. The focus on patients, on children, and that their faith drove them to be involved in so many ways in our community, and that it was part of everything that they did, and they wanted to stay focused on those kids, that they wanted to understand that kids needed care here, and if they had a complication or a special case, that we needed to develop the capabilities here by studying different areas so that we could keep families together. We didn't have to create distance to get the care that was needed. So a lot of work went down to these different areas of expertise. And then we wanted to empower the teams that are working closely with all the patients, the nurses, the doctors, all the teams that are creating the right environment for a patient and for a family when they're going through a tough time. And then, of course, the connections with other institutions of higher learning, whether it's the Van Andel Institute, Michigan State, or others that we work with. And so it's an honor to be able to reflect that. And in those words, as they wrote, you can see that they took the inspiration from the kids, from the families, from the nurses, from the doctors. They took inspiration from the volunteers and everyone who makes a place like a hospital work and puts their heart and soul, their talents and skills into the care that's needed to be given to a patient or a family that's hurting. You can see that inspiration happening. And so we want to continue in the tradition of stewardship that we see demonstrated in this community. So many in this community have stepped forward with their time, with their talent, with their treasure to volunteer and offer to be engaged, and we're happy to continue, and we're honored to be able to continue in that tradition here. And we love to see the collaboration that's happening, that this community doesn't compete. This community collaborates, and we figure out how to work together. What can we do together to be better? To be better, because that's what's demanded from our community. How do we improve? How do we provide better care for more people in better ways? And you see people every day in these institutions working and thinking and committing themselves to make that happen. And while we spend a lot of time thinking about facilities, and you look at beautiful facilities that are built, we always know it's the people. It's the people inside the facilities. These facilities are necessary. You need a great environment. You need the things that are provided, the tools to provide the support for all the teams and the medical professionals that are providing such great care. And you need the right environment for a patient that's working through a challenge. And so while there's facilities, we always make sure we look through the facilities and see the faces of the people that do such great things. And we're excited about the future. We're excited about what this sort of collaboration can bring and the step that we can take as a community. And we're honored to be able to be part of it, to be able to see what we can do to help more people in an even better way. And so this is a joy for us, for our family, as we've had the time to work with all these institutions and to think through and to say, how can we be helpful? And again, it's that stewardship tradition in this community that's shared by all of you that are here and so many others in our community that stay connected, that volunteer, whether it's to the medical community or it's other things that are important, that makes all of us better here in West Michigan. And that's what we want to continue to do. And so that's what we believe that this gift reflects. We believe that the gifts of so many donors in so many ways and the volunteer hours that are given make our community better. And so we're honored to be part of that stewardship tradition and to continue to move forward. And so with that, on behalf of my sister and my two nieces and really all of our family, we're representing a lot of others that are here. And when you think about children, we've done relatively well at continuing that tradition. So we're going to keep that one going as best we can as well. And our community will continue to grow. And as we hear the beautiful voices of our choir, thank you so much for what you did to get us started in the right frame of mind to think about love. So thank you, and we appreciate your stepping up. Not an easy thing to do in the morning, is it? Singing is hard enough. For you with the solos, too, had to get out there and make it happen. But again, another wonderful reflection of how people come together, commit to our community, to add beauty, to add heart, and to add love. So thank you for your time sharing with us as well. And with that, I'm going to turn over to Kent Riddle from Mary Free Bed. Kent, over to you.
How about it we all say amen to Doug? Profoundly grateful, almost speechless. Liz Fanko is here today. Liz and her son Timmy. Liz has her own personal story, which is pretty phenomenal. She's actually been on the Today Show herself, but she's not here to talk about that today. She's here to talk about her son and the collaboration that went on in order to help her son achieve something truly great. We'll have a short video and then Liz will address you.
I wasn't familiar with Heath Road, and at the end of Heath Road there is a stop sign, but the road keeps going. So I didn't see the stop sign. The last thing I have is I see a flash of white, and that's either from the airbag going off or that's because white was the color of the other car.
On June 10th, Timmy and his older sister Anna were involved in a T-bone accident. It was a really horrific crash. Timmy was actually presumed dead when EMS arrived at the scene.
We see the worst of the worst here at DeVos and in regards to trauma. And when he came in as a level 1 trauma, which is again a pretty dire thing. It's probably the highest level that we can get. If you can imagine just tearing off every single thing outside of the tendons and the nerves and blood vessels in his leg, that's what he did. All the soft tissue stuff was torn off. It was horrible. And for Anna, you can't even imagine, what was going through her head.
It was definitely really hard because it felt like it was my fault. And so having to see him there and being just non-responsive, it was the hardest thing. I didn't care that I was injured. I just felt bad that he was the one who got hurt.
At Helen DeVos, the neurology notes were classifying him as what we call grade 3 diffuse axonal brain injury. And that can be very serious where, it's kind of hard to determine where a patient will end up cognitively after an injury like that.
Timmy, go ahead. Can you kick the soccer ball for me? Can you show me how you kick the soccer ball?
One day he woke up kind of out of his coma. I remember his mom saying that he's a kid who is not going to stop until he gets what he wants. Are you ready for your close-up, Timmy?
From the moment to talk again, he said, I'm going to run that race this October.
Timmy Franco, after hit the car accident 4 months ago.
But that picture right there, that is incredible. I mean, he's actually running. His feet are off the ground and doing this, and it's remarkable.
He shouldn't even be alive today. Anna shouldn't be walking today. But God had other plans for them. And our kids have such an amazing testimony for the rest of their life.
I can see just how far he's come because when I saw him at the beginning, it was really hard. But now knowing that he's basically back to being like a 12-year-old boy, he gets to go back to being just a kid because that was kind of taken away from him for a while.
Well, it's not good when I start my talk crying, but you're all crying too. So I want to start out by saying how blessed our family feels to live here in West Michigan, to have benefited from the partnership between Helen DeVos Children's Hospital and Mary Free Bed, because I firmly feel that if we lived somewhere else, our children's story may have had a very, very different outcome. I'd like you to imagine you have a child who has a broken leg. After they break their leg, perhaps they have to have a follow-up surgery, maybe a few x-rays, maybe you need to go buy some crutches, maybe they have a few follow-up PT sessions. And each of those things is like a ball that you need to pick up and juggle. You do some juggling for a few weeks, maybe a month or 6 weeks, and then after that you get to put those balls down and move on with your family's life. On June 10th, 2022, our family wasn't asked to juggle. Instead, it was like being thrown into a Chuck E. Cheese ball crawl. Our children arrived at Helen DeVos not via car, but on the roof, on the helipad. Both of our children were brought in via AeroMed. They were brought into the trauma bay and both immediately taken into emergency surgery. In the first 48 hours that they were at Helen DeVos, more doctors, nurses, and surgeons cared for our children than are seated in the front 3 rows of this room. Over the following 8 weeks, we dealt with, I have to go over the list here, more than 12 surgeries, a coma, a traumatic brain injury, a skull fracture, more than 20 broken bones, respiratory therapists, physical therapy, occupational therapy, almost 100 x-rays, diagnostic studies, pain meds, DME, follow-up appointments, home care, wound care, the list goes on and on. Imagine each of those things being like an individual ball. And instead of our family being asked to try to figure out how to juggle all of those balls, we never once were asked to pick up a ball. Because of the partnership between those hospitals, our hands were kept free, and we were able to use those hands to hold the hands of our children and to help them to heal. When I talked to Anna and told her that I would be giving this talk today, I asked if there was anything that she wanted me to mention. And she asked me to focus on the fact that mental health is just as important as physical health when it comes to kids healing from injury or illness. She wanted me to stress the fact that kids and teens feel everything big when they're learning how to cope with normal changes in normal life. However, when a child goes through a serious illness or a traumatic injury, they all of a sudden go from being independent to being dependent overnight. And that causes the need to learn how to have new strategies to cope. It's so important for kids to have individualized, personalized mental health care that is just as personalized to them as their medical care. And that's why I'm so excited that Pine Rest is included in the partnership for the new Children's Rehabilitation Hospital. My quote from Anna is, "Therapy will not fix everything, but it will make sure that kids have the tools to move forward when they head home from the hospital." As a quick update as to where the kids are today, Anna graduated from Caledonia High School last fall, and after 2 years of dual enrollment in AP classes, her last 2 years of high school, she entered Ferris State University this past fall as a junior. She's majoring in information security and intelligence. Yeah, definitely worth clapping for. She's majoring in information security and intelligence and digital forensics, and her goal is to work for the Michigan State Police. Timmy, who is sitting right there, who's introverted, and this is way out of his comfort zone today, is a normal 13-year-old boy, complete with voice cracks. He started the coveted growth spurt and has man-sized hands now. Is back to normal in school. He is testing at or above grade level and everything, and has moved into the accelerated math program. He's been able to run more than a dozen 5Ks since the accident. He's completed 2 half marathons, that one that you saw there, and another one this past fall. He's now running faster 5K times than he did before the accident took place. And it touches my heart so much when I see him run winter cross-country practice, to see him up there with faster boys again, where he was before the accident took place. In conclusion, no family ever plans for their child to go through a major illness or a traumatic accident. However, I want to thank the DeVos family. Because of your investment in this hospital, every family that does go through this, you have taken, every family that's thrown into that ball crawl, you have taken that ball. You have taken the opportunity away from them. They will never have to pick up ball and try to juggle it. And you are keeping their hands free to hold the hand of their child as they walk through that journey of illness or healing. And I thank you so much for that.
Timmy, you can stand up, wave. Yeah. Thanks so much, Liz. Friday night, I was sitting on my couch in my living room in front of a fireplace, and my grandson, 3.5-year-old Harry, was coming up on the couch next to me, standing on the arm of the couch and jumping off, flying himself into space, flapping his arms, landing on the floor. I was reading a book, and maybe 10 times into it, I finally looked and I said, "Harry, what are you doing?" He said, "Granddad, I'm flying." And I said, so I went back to the book, and then after about 30 more jumps, I said, "Harry, where are you trying to fly to?" And he said, "I'm flying up through the ceiling, Granddad." So we walk into dinner. I said, "What are we doing after dinner, Harry?" And he said, "Granddad, you're going to help me. I'm going to fly through the ceiling." To the DeVos family, we are incredibly, profoundly grateful. And it isn't just this gift. We were talking about it earlier. Everything that you touch in this community, the collaboration that we have, the friendships that we have, the places we go, the way we think. You know, I always say, what does Fred Keller always say? We punch above our little class. We think this way because the vision started with Rich and Helen. And the great thing is that you are all continuing it, and you're continuing it here, and we're all incredibly blessed because of it. That feeling that we can do anything we can make anything possible. We can do anything that's great. You should all know that Tina Friesdecker and Mark Eastberg and I, we're not just partners, we're really good friends. There's times that we text each other in the evenings to show support for each other. It wouldn't surprise Tina's team to know that she's got the latest text on record with me, I think 10:30 one night during the auto no-fault discussions. She doesn't ever turn it off. But we're friends. We've broken bread together. We dine together. We care about each other. We care about each other's organizations. I wake up in the morning not just worrying about Mary Free Bed, but I worry about Helen DeVos Children's Hospital and Corewell Health, and their strength. This is what community is all about, as Doug said so well. For Mary Free Bed, we're going to be building the Joan Secchia Children's Rehabilitation Hospital on the Mary Free Bed campus. And this enables us to do that. It will be one of 9 in the country. You'd have to go a long way to find any others. Most of them are on the coast. There's only 3 between San Francisco and New York. And you'd go to Cleveland if you're heading east, and then you're in New York. And if you're heading west, you have to go all the way to San Francisco for this level of care. And south doesn't exist. So what we're going to be doing is providing anybody with a physical disability, whether it's from any number of birth defects or any kind of trauma like Timmy, or a disease or cancer or chronic pain, we're going to be providing hope and freedom to try to get people back to running half marathons, to fly through the ceiling. So a big thanks to the care teams at both Helen DeVos Children's Hospital at Pine Rest and Mary Free Bed. A big thanks to all of you who are part of this amazing community where we all work together. And as Doug said, we don't compete, we collaborate to make everything better. And everybody in this room knows that this community is that special. And so much of the thanks really goes to the vision, the leadership, the collaboration, the encouragement, and the generosity of the DeVos family. Truly, we can all get kids to fly up beyond the ceiling. And now it's my great honor and privilege to introduce Mark Eastberg, the President and CEO of Pine Rest Christian Mental Health Services. Mark.
Thanks, Kent. I'd like to add my own words of gratitude to the DeVos family for helping make our community a better place for kids. 2 of my sons have received surgery in this building. One of my sons received highly specialized care that saved his life. What parent could repay a debt of gratitude like that? And we are so grateful to you as a community, and I'm sure there are many stories like that in this room. As a father, I can never be more grateful. Thank you. I'm also grateful for the vision that your mom and dad gave us that you've talked about earlier, a vision that all kids could thrive in our community. But particularly in mental health area of life, too many of our kids today are not thriving. Post-COVID, an astonishing number of teenagers and high school kids are seriously contemplating taking their own lives. Anxiety is making it difficult for so many kids to get to school or causing them to get lost in the world of social media rather than engage deeply with friends. Kids are feeling that emptiness, trying to calm themselves, or just trying to re-experience joy using substances. Parents don't know what to do, where to turn, and when they do, they might be told, our hospital is full, or you'll need to wait 4 months to see an outpatient psychiatrist to get your life back together again. How do we respond? What do we do? Well, the DeVos vision, that total personalized care for the whole person, and that patient-centered is expert, is a North Star for us as we try to respond, as we are responding. So, supported by this incredible gift of $5 million to Pine Rest will be building a pediatric behavioral health center. It will be a 136,000 square foot building, yes, but as you said, Doug, that's just the platform. What the DeVos vision really does, it helps us incarnate those great principles, that hope for our kids into something real. So, what does it look like? Imagine in the future, so when a young girl says to her mom, I wish I was dead and I think I know how I'm gonna do it, or a teen has spent the last 2 days in bed because he's too depressed to get up and get to school, we'll be able to say to these kids, or the pediatricians, or parents, or teachers, or youth group leaders who care about them, the Pediatric Psychiatric Urgent Care Center is here for you. Just come in right now, and we'll figure it out. Or maybe the child needs the intensity of a hospital program, but is safe enough to go home and spend the evening with their family. We're doubling that program. We'll be adding specialty tracks for kids such as eating disorders, substance use disorders, working to avoid crises before they happen. But if a child is desperate and is a danger to themselves or others and needs that high intensity of care, we'll be growing our programming in the hospital to 66 beds. And I'm personally really excited about this collaborative vision. The fact that the Pediatric Behavioral Health Center at Pine Rest is linked to the original vision of Helen DeVos Children's Hospital for our kids. We will build the Pediatric Center for Behavioral Health to be an extension of Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. It's a continuum. My hope is that pediatricians anywhere in the Corewell system will see this program as an indispensable partner, that you'll feel like if you're here, we have your backs. Handoffs between our organizations will be seamless, which is what families need when they're in the middle of a crisis. And can we dream? No child or parent will be asked the same question twice in our two systems. But dramatically expanded mental health care for kids is but one piece of the vision for our community where all children thrive. Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, Mary Free Bed, Pine Rest, we need each other for the big thrive. What does this thrive look like? Future state. So thrive looks like a 13-year-old running down the dock on a Michigan summer evening to jump into the lake at his grandparents' cottage. He jumps, hangs in midair for just a second, and then splashes and feels the cold, the thrill, the joy all at once. He could do this because, on a Michigan summer evening, because when he was 3 years old, he had surgery at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital to fix a congenital heart defect. He received physical therapy at Mary Free Bed following a really bad automobile accident. And he was able to calm his overwhelming panic attacks with the help of wise psychiatrists and physicians at Pine Rest. Thrive looks like a 15-year-old girl who's ecstatic because she got the first A on her math test, her hardest subject, mine too. She's able to experience this moment of ecstasy because her sickle cell disease has been well managed at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, and she hasn't had a pain crisis in years. She had speech therapy at Mary Free Bed, which has really helped her confidence at school. And her parents took her to Pine Rest Psychiatric Urgent Care Center when she was having suicidal thoughts, and that's now all behind her. Thrive looks like a 9-year-old at his birthday party. Born with a developmental disability, the skilled neurologists at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital helped get his seizures under control. Difficulty swallowing as an infant, and the team at Mary Free Bed worked with him to overcome that challenge. Sometimes his neurological difficulties caused him to act violently, punching the walls or his family members. But thanks to a stay on the new unit at Pine Rest, built just for kids like him, those outbursts are now well managed. And on this 9th birthday, it's one of the first that his parents have seen where he seems to be happy, this nonverbal son of theirs, surrounded by his loving sisters. The kind of care that makes possible these moments of thriving and joy is hard to build. Collaboration is hard and expensive. Hard, but easy too, because of what motivates this work. It's what the choir sang about this morning, love. We love our kids, our nephews and nieces, our grandkids, and those quirky neighborhood kids. Thank you, DeVos family, for giving us the tools we need to love our kids well, seeking the peace and prosperity of the children in our community where we live and serve. Now, please join me in welcoming Dr. Robert Fitzgerald, President of Helen DeVos Children's Hospital.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. Isn't this an absolutely incredible day? My name is Dr. Robert Fitzgerald, and I have the extreme pleasure of serving as the president of Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. Thank you to the DeVos family for continuing the legacy of support for children in our community by making this landmark investment in pediatric care. I've been a pediatric intensive care physician here at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital for 21 years. I've seen tremendous growth of the Children's Hospital on the medical mile. From to this beautiful big blue building, growth in the number of patients that we see, and growth in the complexity of the patients that we see here and provide care for on an every day. One of my favorite things about being a pediatric intensivist is with teamwork, we get kids better overwhelmingly, and we get to see them leave the hospital. And when we don't, we get to help these families through the toughest times of their lives with care, compassion, and love. Rich DeVos said, "Few things in this world are more powerful than a positive push, a smile, a you can do it when things are tough." On behalf of everyone at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, thank you for this incredible recognition in our teams who care and support children and their families every day. This you can do it from the DeVos family is a great honor for all of us who serve, and we are forever grateful. I'd like to share a few examples of how you're helping kids in West Michigan. You're helping a neonatal intensive care unit baby born at 27 weeks who will get the nutrition that they need to grow healthy and strong. You're helping a family who comes to the hospital every week with their medically complex child who navigates sometimes 6 to 8 appointments or balls in there at a time. Our goal is to have all those organized in a facilitated, centralized clinic within our new division of comprehensive care. This innovative approach absolutely improves the experience for the family and the patient, but also has the goal of keeping kids out of the hospital and decreasing admissions. Your investment in the Joan Secchia Children's Rehabilitation Hospital is giving children exceptional continuity of care in pediatric rehabilitation. And that goal is to get them back to being a kid as quickly as possible. You are supporting kids of all ages who have a serious illness or traumatic injury, requiring a stay in our pediatric intensive care unit. As the number of specialties grow at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, so does the complexity of our patients. And we are excited to expand our pediatric intensive care unit by 14 beds to a total of 44. I know as a pediatric intensive care doctor how incredibly impactful these additional beds will be. You have committed vital support to the mental health care of our adolescents, which is needed now more than ever. These patients will not only be supported at the Helen DeVos Children's Hospital Medical Psychiatric Unit, but also at Pine Rest Behavioral Health Center of Excellence. You're also recognizing the work of some very special groups at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, who are some of the most compassionate and dedicated individuals you will ever meet. Thank you for the gift to provide startup funding for the Center for Nursing Career Development, which will provide resources for our nurses now and in the future for both career development and well-being support. Our nurses need investment and encouragement like never before. This is an amazing opportunity for these incredible team members. And I've saved a very special group for last, our Child and Family Life team. The program and team of wildly dedicated individuals, of child life specialists, child life assistants, music therapists, school teachers, and our recently added art therapist, are vital to our culture and experience of the patients here at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. Your gift to establish a permanent endowment to this program is a beautiful way to honor your parents and grandparents and their mission for the Child Life team. Many of our Child Life team members are here. I want you all to raise your hands, give us a wave, and they all deserve a round of applause. I love you guys. As you can see, your investment, your trust, and your confidence in these teams and all the teams here at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital is going to be transformational for the people here in this big blue building. Thank you to the DeVos Family Foundation, to Mary Freebed, and Pine Rest for your partnerships. Now I'm going to ask the Girls Chorus Academy to come back up and sing us one more song. Thank you.
Again, phenomenal. Thank you so much for being here today. That was great. I just want to thank the tremendous leadership and people within our organization, Dr. Alejandra Quiroga, Mark Eastberg, Kent Riddle, Dr. Robert Fitzgerald, and all of our team members, our physicians, our nurses, our therapists, our child life specialists. Everyone is part of helping kids become healthier and to achieve their goals. So thank you very much for your collaboration, for your expertise, and for your passion in doing this every single day. I want to say thank you to the DeVos family for trusting us, for loving us, to help us do what we do best every day. We so appreciate that, and we will continue to achieve and strive for the vision of your parents and your grandparents. Philanthropy is the reflection of trust, and that's what we embrace, and we hope through love and the work that we do, it shines in everything that we contribute to our community. And to all of you who joined us, our friends, our family, our part in the media, thank you so much for joining us today. We are grateful for your support, not only today, but throughout the year, as we continue to make sure that we're providing exceptional care to our community. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.